lie. It's like I'm gonna spit some real shit for y'all right now. It's like, look, like when you grow up in the trenches, it's like society treats you different, man. Like look at you different. It's like, man, you coming from where we from, man. We were on the come with it. Look, they treat you different when you from the trenches. Bitch, I didn't grow up in no burb, I grew up in the village. Tryna get that shit up off the curb, I turned it to a menace. I wasn't hanging around with no girls, bitch, I was hitting fences. Childhood trauma, take it back to about the age of 9. Gunshots sounding like fireworks on 4th of July. I told my sisters and cousins that we gon' be alright as long as we stay solid, protect each other through eerie nights. Childhood trauma, my mama, she worked a 9 to 5. Still managed to come home and feed us when it was dinner time. Still managed to curve on the visas up in the winter time. So back to school, we was popping like the beginning times. I won't let this childhood trauma try to take me out. It made me who I am today, won't let it stress me out. But babe, I learned from my mistakes, I'ma go another route. Got some cake for a rainy day when it's another drop. Yeah, I grew up in the ghetto, I ain't ashamed of it. And I struggled on different levels, I got my pain from it. Niggas that die tryna live this life, tryna build a name from it. I hope I make it out alive, I ain't the same from it. I grew up in the ghetto, I ain't ashamed of it. And I struggled on different levels, I got my pain from it. Niggas that die tryna live this life, tryna build a name from it.
Skipp Townsend, I'm live again. Imagine that, I ain't been live in a while. Glad to be here. I got to start off giving all honor and praise to God. Truly grateful. I'm alive and well. I am not dead nor in jail, so I'm grateful for that. I always give a shout out to Sister Heron. She got me on the radio back in 2009 and kind of got me addicted to doing podcasts and radio shows. I'm truly appreciative of her. And also Bo Taylor, my mentor. We done lost a whole bunch, Bo. We done lost you. We done lost James Ingram. We lost the great one, man, Mr. B, Harry Belafonte. And even today, Jim Brown, who was the founder of the American program, who helped not just me, not just Bo, but so many of us in L.A. Shout out to Monique Brown, the wife, who's still holding it down for him. So with that being said, I want to bring it to the panel, the guests that I have right here. So for those of you who are from the streets of Los Angeles, born and raised in the 60s, we're going to have a great conversation. We're going to talk about some things that only certain people know about. And I'm going to be honest, even I don't know some of the things that Greg know. So we're going to get into that. I also want to give a shout out to Deja Mack. She's the one who was doing the rap. That is my intro. Love her sister. She's out of Oakland. So I want to do that. But now the young fella next to me, man, would you be so kind as to introduce yourself to everybody?
Yes, my name is Patrick. I was born and raised 1966, Los Angeles, California, off of 65th and Denker, where we landed, my mother landed us there, and we had no idea of what we were, what was coming ahead of us as kids, which I'm proud to still be from 65th Place. I would just like to give honor to God myself, because I'm still alive too. Me and my brothers, our mother is gone, of course. She passed in 2010. And like they say, it takes a village to raise a neighborhood. I was that one, where if you looked up, I was at your front door or in your backyard, playing in your yard or something like that as a kid. So it's been quite a journey for me, growing up on the north end of Los Angeles in the 60s area, 65th all the way to Raymond Avenue. I'd like to give a shout out to all my elementary friends from Raymond Avenue, just going forth. But everybody...
We'll get into some more, man. Let's
Let's
go
ahead.
around.
Y'all go ahead.
We got
my name is Greg, and I can relate to what my brother said, but when this thing started, we used to get escorted to school as kids.
What do you mean escorts, man?
I'm talking about by neighborhood peers of ours. you know.
Yeah, Big Mario. Michael.
We didn't know nothing about this Crip blood war, but we was young growing up in it, and it was an experience.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? To get, escorted to school, and back.
What year was that? Tell us the year.
Let me see. I'm born in 61, so I've been on 65th forever. You know what I mean? But I got to say the 5 is a legendary block.
All right. So look, we're going to get into that. We want to
Okay.
do the introductions first.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, so come on.
Hey, hello there. My name is Todd. They know me as T on the block, and I came to 65th place in 1967. And I've been there ever since. So I just want to say I give it up to 65th place, and I got a lot of love for it, and that was like the founding block right there, So I just want to give it up, and for that block, and that's who I am.
Yes, sir. Well said. I appreciate you guys. A lot of people really don't know how important that block is. A lot of people, when they think about that area, the first thing they think about is 69th Street.
Mm-hmm.
You got Big Harv, Little Harv, you got Big Monster, Little Monster. You got so many people, Michael and Todd and all them over there. Tookie was over there.
Yeah.
So a lot of
Big
people think
D,
about 69th
Lil
Street.
D, all
Big
of
D,
them.
Lil D, yes indeed. That's my guy, Big D, yeah. So people don't really, know the importance.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't know a 65th place like that, right?
Right.
And one time I did an interview and I was saying, man, when I was a kid and I ain't know nothing about no A-trays or nothing, but I know 2 people who knew about A-trays, and that was Chico and Conrad.
Okay.
Because, because I don't know where they would go when they would leave there, but wherever they went, they was A-trays where they went because they came back talking about
They
them.
go straight up all day.
They went straight up all day.
All day, that's it.
Yeah.
They travel on the backside. As soon as they cross horns, they,
Right.
they there.
Okay, so look, you was talking about getting an escort. We still didn't get what year that was.
Let me see.
So were you going to Raymond Avenue at
Yeah, I
the
was
time?
going Raymond Avenue at the time.
So that's going to be 70.
Sixth grade. Yeah, 74,
75.
74,
Yep.
75.
Right there.
75.
Okay.
Because going to Horseman wasn't no joke.
Yeah, I wasn't going to Horseman. I knew that as a
Yeah,
child. I was
going to
never.
Horseman?
I went to Horseman for.
73?
I went to Horseman for
73?
summer school 1 year.
There was at least 13 fights a day. A lot of youngsters died in 73. Shout out to Big Mo who died and a few others, you know what I'm saying? As kids, though, this is bad because we're all the same age, We talking about 15, 16-year-old, 14, people was dropping like flies, you know what I'm saying? But thank God nobody on the 5 never experienced that, because they kept us away from that. Just from 66 to 65th, we was tight, tight-knitted as a family.
Strong.
You know what I'm saying? Our unity was like no other.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I would say, even from the beginning of time, because you got to look at the 5 as the front line. You know what I mean? You might have
wait.
65th Street.
People got to understand what you just said.
Yeah.
When you said the 5 is the front line.
Yeah.
So what's on the other side of 65th place?
That would be
Six
Six Deuce Brims.
Brims.
Which was 5'9" Brims, and they, did their thing and went to San Diego. But the Six Deuce Brims, Larry, and then by the park,
Right.
But it wasn't really them, but you talking about,
Was it Winford?
well,
and
PJ,
the Twins,
PJ and them,
Shaggy Dog,
Oh,
all the real ones,
Yeah.
man. Them boys was.
yeah.
But we all had
Yeah.
it was like a big jungle of unity in a sense because our grandmother stayed on 60th and Denker.
Yeah.
And that's where I met Reba.
I mean,
I met
I
Reba
give them
over
their
there.
props because they stood up against the multitude,
Yeah, they
Right.
did.
and
But we was all cool with them though because our grandmother lived over there.
So my neighbor, of course y'all know my neighbors.
Right.
The Nairn family.
Right.
Yeah.
Calvin, Tanya, Monkey,
Yeah.
Bernard.
Right.
Who I miss? There's more than that. But anyway, all right. But they grandmother too. We used to go get donuts.
Yeah.
They grandmama lived on was it 60th Place, but it was right behind the park, whatever street it was.
Right, I remember.
Yeah. So we used to walk down there and get donuts and all that.
chili fries.
I played football for their
Park.
pops. At
Okay.
Henry Clay. He used to
Oh,
pick us
yeah.
up in the truck.
Yeah, I went too.
You did.
Yeah, I was
He
there.
put us
Yeah,
all in the truck.
that was Watts actually.
Right, it was
We
Watts.
played for
Right.
Watts King Conference League.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
You know, like I said, I started this thing called Not Forgotten because a lot of our neighborhood, a lot of people get on these podcasts and they say this about their neighborhood or their friends or the people they grew up with. I started thinking, well, how come they don't never mention 65th, man? That was legendary,
Yeah.
All right, so give me two names. Two of the most. I don't know. Maybe one name don't want to be mentioned, but I can't help it though.
Yeah.
Man, I don't want no problems. Let me just say that right now. Hey, look, man, I don't want no problems. Your little brother done already caught me at Lamert Park and said, "Hey, man, don't say our names like that." But I gotta just say, this is what I'm gonna say. That family was big. That family was deep, and that family was very influential.
Right.
So I gotta say, shout out to the Potts family.
Real
Raymond,
talk.
Renard, Renee, Rennis,
Raymond,
they
100%. 100%.
We respect Big Raymond
We
all
respect
the
him
way.
because
His
he
wish-
was a peer on our block. You know,
Taught us how to,
he was a
how
peer.
to
You know,
survive.
you know what I
Trust
mean.
me.
He did, and
Don't do that.
everybody
Boy,
respect him.
Go home.
Yes.
But
He
I
was-
want to
he was
give it
strong.
up. I want to give it up for somebody a little bit more important than Raymond was his father, Ron Potts.
Yeah, Mr.
And I wanna
He's
give it
still
up.
alive too, right?
Yes, he's still alive.
Yeah,
and
yes,
I go hang out with him and watch games with him and stuff at my buddy Greg's house. He hangs out with him all the time. But I just want to say to Mr. Potts, because he came to the neighborhood back in like the 80s and this early 80s, 85, 86. And I remember just getting out of 4800 and he came to the neighborhood and he gave all the homies jobs, and we had records and everything, and we built a hotel off the 91 freeway, the Casino Hotel. We was building a hotel, and we built that whole hotel from the brothers from the neighborhood. And Mr. Potts came and gave us all jobs, man. Stanley Caver, Rodney, Lil Stan, all of us worked. Big Diatri, Big Crazy D, he worked there. He used to give me rides home back to the neighborhood when I didn't have a ride back. So I just want to say thank y'all. Thank you, Mr. Potts, for helping the whole neighborhood out, because you was definitely a peer to the neighborhood. And I thank you so much because you did help out a lot of brothers in our neighborhood.
And you know what,
Thank
man?
you for
That's
that, for the
real.
whole Potts family.
That's real powerful, Todd, because I'm sure other neighborhoods had individuals like that.
Exactly.
But when they get on camera and get to talking, they talking about, oh, well, Crazy Killer and Big Tim and and they don't think about who was that father figure.
Exactly.
My dad did the same thing.
So just imagine. I can't
the
tell you
whole
about 65th, but I can tell you about 66.
Right.
That was only the player family that had a father in the house.
Big C.
Exactly.
The Laytons, Stagger Lee and them. They dad was there too. But it's only like it wasn't like our house, Calvin them. The daddy just wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just seen Shelly the other day, so we talking about Jimmy and
shout
Wayne.
out to my childhood sandbox, Shelly.
Yes, indeed. But there wasn't no daddy in their house, and so as I go house by house, we might have maybe 4 or 5 the Johnsons,
Right.
Milton, Aaron, Kenny,
Or Larry Calloway and them, his dad was there for him.
Yeah,
Big Calloway.
Big Calloway.
Now, Jimmy Graham,
Yeah.
his dad was there.
But was that James?
James.
It was James Graham.
James,
He had a
James
famous record out back in the day. Too,
No,
wasn't
his uncle is Graham Central Station. What's his name?
Yeah, Larry Graham.
Larry Graham.
Graham.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Larry
Central
Graham.
Station, yeah.
Yeah,
that's true.
he? Like I said, I was that. A child got to. It takes a village to raise a child. I was always in everybody's yard. Coming to play with them or do something. But it was one white boy in the neighborhood. His name was Robbie. Do you remember white boy Robbie?
Stay down there by the
He stayed
donut
by
shop.
House Bakery. Shout out to House Bakery, not forgotten.
What? So was he on the same side of the street as Bakery or across
Yeah,
the street?
same side of the
He
street
was
as
the
Bakery.
same side of the bakery.
Yeah.
Now I remember Sean Easley, Shark, all them was on that side,
And
right?
then I'm gonna go back a little farther than that. We had a block full of, let me say,
heavy hitters.
You got me and
It's
bald
heavy
head
hitters.
body.
Yeah, the
Better
boys are
known as
strong.
Kojak.
Yeah. Yes.
Black Bobby. You know what I'm saying? Black Bobby, the protector of the
Protector
neighborhood.
of the neighborhood.
I don't think too many
he
people
standing
know
Bob
by
about
the
him,
Dylan,
you know.
right there.
He had
You
the
know,
cat eye.
But not forgotten.
Yeah,
You
not
know what I'm
forgotten.
saying?
No, I forgot.
You got
He
Big
always
O.
looked out.
Yeah.
Not
Rest
forgotten.
in peace.
Big
You know,
O
but-
wrestling? You talking about Job?
Big O.
Opie, we are.
Big O.
Opie.
Big O.
Opie.
Big
Yeah,
O.
yeah. Oh,
Lil
yeah, come
O.
on.
Lamar.
Yeah, Lil Opie. Yeah.
These are just
Big O.
people
Man,
off the
Opie
block.
broke
Big
a
O.
bottle in front
Shout
of my
out to
mama
Daryl
house.
Knotts and
And
his family.
she got a broom. And said, I don't give a shit who you mad at, who you fight, you gonna get that bottle up.
Yeah.
And Opie took the broom and got the bottle up,
Yeah.
man. Shout
Well,
out
his
to
mom and
Opie.
daddy used to own the record shop.
No,
Right there
no,
on-
no. That's
That was
Oliver.
Oliver.
That's
My
Todd.
bad.
That's
Yeah,
Oliver. That's
that was my
Gangsta O.
guy.
That's Big
Gangsta
O.
O.
That's
Yeah.
Gangsta O right there.
Yeah, I remember the
Yeah.
Disco Duck came out.
Yeah.
So I go to get him so we can go to school, and his mom was playing the Disco Duck.
Right.
See, on the fire, you had Daryl Knott stay right
I
next door
remember that.
to it.
Remember
The
that
original
record
Rainbow,
shop right
you know?
there.
the record
man. We got a
shop.
record shop right there.
Yeah.
You know?
We had a shoe shine parlor across
record
the
store.
street too, where the old theater used to be on the corner of 65th and Normandy.
With A&W.
Remember that old building right there? That was a
Yeah.
theater.
Okay.
You know, and there was a lot of whites in our neighborhood when we were kids. Mr. and Mrs. Orr, the other white guy on the corner of Denker and 65th.
We had something right next to it.
Well, I remember
Yeah,
going
Johnny.
to preschool right there on 65th Place in Normandy, right on the corner. Which that was preschool Head Start.
Yeah,
We
that's where me
started
and you
right
went.
there. Me and Pat went to school there. We started
went
from
to
school
Head
there
Start.
and went to all the way to Crenshaw, finished at high school together.
Yeah, we finished
Yeah,
together.
everybody went through there. I went through there myself.
You know.
But in general, like I say, it's a not forgotten thing, you know, to me because it's more like everybody took care of everybody. You know, you had Kim and Jeanette.
Come
You
on,
had
man.
Mr. West.
You know, I went over there and ate food at their house.
Yeah, you
I just
know.
went around the corner and
Yeah.
got something to eat at their house. Their
Right.
mama would feed me
all,
all the time.
All of them are not forgotten.
I'm just a
Big Sonny.
Rest in
Big
peace to
Sonny.
Big Wani and
That's
Deborah,
where I'm
man,
starting from.
because
Maisie and Lee, everybody down that whole block, we were all tight knit like family.
right.
You know, Miss Whittemeyer's house where Michael B. Jordan was growed up right there. Nobody knew that
Yeah, I
that he
know
was
that.
gonna be famous.
Yeah, you'd never know that.
Yeah,
but
Michael B. Jordan. Then you had OG Billy,
Yeah,
who was an
yeah,
old
Devin.
hustler. He got killed. We had
Bo.
Bo. We had a lot of strong.
A lot of
Big
OGs,
Bruce.
OGs,
Big
originals
Bruce
on
on
our street. A lot
65th.
of OGs, you know.
You know,
And so they always looked out for us in the neighborhood. So it's like you say, you don't have to mention nobody's names, but everybody knew who they was on our block. Because if you
Right.
lived on
Big Tony
65th,
Hester.
it was big respect because everybody was G's.
yeah,
it was not a
Michael,
lot of
them,
young
they
people
took
on
care
our
of us.
block. You
They
know.
raised me.
It
I
was
say
older
Big
people,
Bruce though.
you know.
That was my partner right
Yeah,
there.
they
Him
you
and
know,
Jay
they
Johnson.
raised me, man, when I was
I had
little.
some cousins stay down
you
there
know.
on 65th in Vermont
Right.
on 65th Place. I'm just talking about the 5.
The whole
You
farm.
know what I mean?
Whole five.
So let me ask you this: how was that relationship? See, I didn't know about Crips and Bloods at the time, but how was the relationship with the Brims, with the LA Brims?
With the Brims?
Because I knew them from going over Kim and Jeanette house, and the Brims
Yeah,
always
right,
over to pick them
right.
up.
Kim
Right.
and
So
Jeanette.
that's how I met the
Everybody knew
Brims.
Kim and
Right.
Jeanette.
Ronnie, Pee Wee.
Yeah,
Right,
they used to
right,
pull
right.
up.
They
You know
had
Kim
they
and
had
Jeanette, you knew
yeah.
Wani and
Yeah,
Deborah.
Bruce-
Right,
You
right,
know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Because they all had the afros.
Right, they got
and
the
all
afro.
the brothers used to
Somebody
come
had a
to the
glass
neighborhood.
house, and Jeanette was good. The dude wanted
a
to date
glass
Jeanette,
house.
and
Yeah.
she said,
Okay.
"All right, well, Skipp is going with us."
Right.
And so shit, I went with him, and we go to the beach or whatever. I'm sure they like, man, we gotta shake
That was
this
our
dude.
big
But-
sisters of the neighborhood.
Yeah, that's the
right
big
there.
sisters.
They took
right.
care of all of us.
As we kept continue to grow up, we started going around those corners, and that's when I remember going around there to Cutes in them house, and me and Renard, we go around there and ask them for money and get candy and stuff. Then we flip them off and they chase us. It used to be stuff like that. We was knuckleheads, And
Only reason I go around there is to get Frank.
yeah,
I would go get Frank. We sometimes we go to Rosecrans skating ring or just kicking it on the block or whatever.
Right.
But I did not know the significance of his brothers. I thought those Rivieras. I just thought that was the fanciest
Nice.
thing
In
in
the
the world.
front
They
yard,
got ice
pumping
in
their
the
iron.
front,
I used to
so
run
I,
Big Mouse.
is
you
that
know?
right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I like you said, ran with all the big boys, breaking all the rules.
Right.
You know what I mean?
See, he did all of the. When I had problems, I would go get my brother because there was some things that I couldn't handle. It was bigger guys, you know. So if it was something that I really couldn't handle, Greg was the man back in the day.
Right.
Yeah, well,
Him and
I did
Bobby,
all
they used to
Bobby
slap
Brown.
box in the yard, run, race. Who was the fastest runner on 65th?
Chico's Auntie Kim.
Tell the truth.
Yeah,
You know,
Bobby.
Tell the
Man,
truth.
what
She
happened
was the
to Chico?
fastest
Tell the
runner on
truth right now,
65th,
man.
period. Kim was.
They good.
You know, she rests in peace. Shout out to you, Kim.
Right.
You know what I
we
mean?
keep in touch
Love
a little
you.
bit, but they good.
Yeah.
I remember, which is the oldest? Is it Chico or Conrad?
Chico.
I think Chico.
Okay,
Chico
so
is.
Chico had a fight with Steve, with my brother.
Oh, he did.
Yeah, I remember that. We was on 60. We playing football, and they got into it about something. And Steve is your age, born in 61.
Right, right.
So then Chico's around my age, or maybe.
That's our age. Right?
Okay, so he's younger than me.
Yeah, well, I put Steve in getting down with people over there.
Huh?
I tell your brother go in and get him. You know,
Steve
your
would go
brother
get
go
him.
get with him.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Steve
'Cause
was
he
a
had
fighter,
a cool
wasn't
little
no
five.
fight.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, when I pumped him up, it's rap. That's what he used to do to me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody was trained to get down over there.
Yes, indeed.
You
They
couldn't
had to
be,
fight.
You know,
you go in the Heston's
from my
backyard
house.
and get knocked out.
Yeah, from my house to walk into Raymond Avenue every day, you better know something coming down Normandy.
Right.
You know. and
Yeah,
that's
you know,
why
I
learned how
kind
to,
of,
you
I
know,
like the fact that it got me prepared.
yeah,
It got me prepared for when I moved
Right.
and
Yeah.
when things
Right.
got harder. It's like, man,
Right.
you can't fight. I've been places where they fighting
Right.
way better than
Way
that.
better.
Yeah, so don't even worry
You
about
show
it.
him go in the backyard and get knocked out back there.
Yeah.
One of them brothers, Bill, Tony, or Michael, one of them two, three gonna knock you out.
Some of the Hestons, huh?
Heck yeah, in the backyard.
They used to have horses in their backyard.
They slap horses.
Yeah, they
boxing,
had
a
real
real
horses.
boxing ring.
Boxing
boxing
ring,
ring.
horses.
Right.
Going back there and test your skills.
Like I said, it was a lot of G's. It was older guys. You know, my brother, everybody was older, so everybody kind of looked out for the younger ones. So
I
we
can
had a
say
lot of
this
love
though:
in the hood.
everybody on that block treated each other like family.
Yes,
It was more like
Got Boots and Greg
They
Tucker
took care of
around
you.
the corner.
right,
T-Bone.
right.
Big Richard Skaggs. He took care of them.
Big
Richard-
Bruce was across
Richard
the five,
Louis.
across Normandy. You know,
Yeah, they all took care
That's
of us.
just right there. Though.
Let me ask this though: where was Kenny Johnson? He had that red foe, had the perm, always had a pistol on him. Always. He used
Red
to-
eyes.
He used to take me and Milton to Audubon every day.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like a man. I'm jumping out of lowrider every day, man.
Yeah.
Going to the school. A red one at
and
that.
that red one,
A red one at that, right?
I'm switching.
So I felt like I was the man, but I never asked him, man, where you from? You know.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Was he part of what was going on around the corner with Raymond Potts and them? Was he part of Crips, or was he more with the 5'9s, or what?
I'm gonna
Greg
tell you
might
like,
have a little
I'm gonna
more
tell you, yeah,
knowledge
because
on
I'm gonna
that.
tell you like this: when you
I
come on the
ain't
five and people was over there, you didn't ask no questions or nothing.
Right,
You know what I
that
mean?
part.
Because if the
That part.
G's knew they was there, everything was fine. So
Yeah,
the best thing to
that
do is
part.
just if you see people over there, they over there for a right reason. There ain't no wrong reason because nobody came down the five with no mess. And I can tell you, long as I've been there, I never seen nothing actually happen
Well,
in
they
the
knew
middle
better.
of our block because they knew.
They knew better.
Don't even
you
come
couldn't
over
come
here,
over
you
there
know, because it was
Yeah.
too many respectable people over here. You know what I mean? And it's like you started off with the Potts family, all the different families. There was families that lived on that block. You know, my
Yeah.
grandmother been there since '66. You know, it's families. So we never had that over
Shoot,
there.
we
You
been
know,
there
you couldn't
since
come
the
over there
50s.
with
Yeah,
that.
we was
you
there
know.
in the 50s.
You was gonna have a lot of problems. You came over there.
But I went to Crenshaw High. I ended up going to all those schools and ended up going to Crenshaw High, where my cousin, knew that I was crossing that crossing Western, going down to 54th or going down to Hyde Park. Because one time they
Trust me,
they
we
sweated
know
up.
all about it.
Where y'all
man.
from? I'm like, man, we
You know,
don't,
just growing up in South Central, it was like that, man.
But
And we
my
lived on
cousin-
Western. And if you coming from Crenshaw going back to Western,
my
most
cousin.
likely you gonna get
Right.
you're gonna get checked a few times, you know. So, it was hard us going to school though too, because we had to go to school every day, man. And that was the
Man.
best
But it
football
ain't where
program,
you at, it's who you
basketball
know.
program.
But I know it was hard for y'all, but can you imagine my mother moved from 66 to Denker to 63rd and Crenshaw?
I remember
tell
that.
me, I remember one time.
Yeah.
There was an incident.
Yeah.
The last conversation that the boy Kid from '60s had was with me. I'm not knowing. Pat sitting in the car,
Yep.
waiting on somebody to get him out to get the food or whatever. Soon as Kid hit the corner, across the street, pow, 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 he lost his life. And when all the police and the yellow tape and all that, Pat come running across the street like, "Hey, Skipp." I'm like, "What the fuck is you doing here? Why is you here?"
Trying to get home. I don't know what's going on. All I heard was the noise, you know.
Right.
So and then the next day I found out it was Kimbo because I was bitching with Kimbo.
So he got shot and ran behind the building.
Yes.
So they didn't even know he got shot. They found him the next morning.
And I used to ditch with him at Crenshaw.
Yeah.
He was a real cool dude. We,
Right.
you know, you could bond with certain guys, and we ended up ditching together. You know, and you know, it wasn't about gangbanging. It was just about ditching.
Right.
You know, and that's what we did. You know. Then I found out that happened. That really kind of hurt me because I was like, man, he was a cool dude. I was just getting to know him. You know.
Yeah.
But you know.
But I used to have to go to 63rd and Crenshaw and stand on the corner and wait for the bus.
Right.
So everybody coming off 11th Ave, or Bryanhurst, Victoria, they coming over there and they like, "Hey, where Cuz from?" I was like, "I don't know where Cuz from. Shit, I'm turning my head right."
Right.
But one of the bad things that happened to me is one of my guys, dude named Dami, he come out the jungles. He's in the car with Shaft. There's nothing but Blackstones in this car.
Shaft.
And they come up to the light and they staring. I'm trying to turn my head or something, and Dami said, "That's Skipp. What's happening, blood?" And then they drove off.
Yeah.
Left me at the
just left
corner
you
by
there.
myself. I was like, oh man, from that point on, man, I said, you know what? I'm gonna stand across the street and I'm gonna wait to see the bus coming, and I'm not gonna come. I'm not gonna go to the bus stop until I see the buses at Hyde Park, and then I'm gonna run across the street and jump on the bus.
Right.
Because I was set up for failure with that one.
Right.
When I was in junior high, I was integrated into the Valley, and I had a little buddy that was claiming 6-0 and Morgan, and everybody was out there sweating them in the Valley. And I used to be the one to go over there. I was always the one to say, "Man, leave the little homeboy alone. You know, leave him alone, man. They, you know, they got their little penalties on or whatever they doing. Just leave him alone." And later on, I was down there in the 40s and I ran into Morgan, and I was looking for some trees. I was, you know, looking for some trees. He said, "We got some." So they took me up in the building and jacked me for my little $10. I said, "Come on, man, you supposed to be my little dog, you know?"
Right.
But it was his homeboy, you know. But thank God I walked away from it because he had the little strap on him, and I said, "Man, you gonna do me like this?" He was like, "Man, I ain't got nothing to do with it." I said, "Oh, you tripping because of where I live, bro. I ain't on that." You know what I'm saying? Come on,
Not
man.
where you from is where you at.
Yeah, and that's just how it was back in the days,
Yeah,
man.
it
It was, you know, even getting on the bus,
And
getting on
even
that
getting on
rough,
the
tough,
bus.
and dangerous, man. The RTD.
Fox Hills Mall.
You know, the Fox Hills, come on, man.
Man,
Yeah.
you know.
But
Man, that
like,
was-
like my cousins from 60s, he came up there one time. It was I think they was 48 Hustlers. You know, and I was, you know, walking with this girl named Yvonne Harvey. They was mad, like, "Yeah, man, you think you the stuff, man. You live over there, man." I said, "What you talking about, man?" It was like, "Man, we gonna get you, man." So I go up in the lobby at Crenshaw Hall, and I get on the phone. I said, "Dog, I'm in trouble." He said, "What, baby, cuz?" I said, "I'm in trouble." He said, "Just stay right there in the front." So I stayed in the front. I heard that more bounce to the ounce. Do. I said, "That's him." So he hit the driveway. I seen all them heads popping up out the car. My cousin Joey. So I seen a big dude with the hat flipped up. I seen Charles Looney with the cane with the rags. Waco, 10-inch, the real 60s. I was like, "Ooh." So I came on out when they got close.
That's not a diss to others. Like y'all not real. Just you
Right.
know,
They was the OGs. Yeah,
Just
they
the
was-
OGs.
Yeah, this
you
was
know.
back in 82, 80, you know,
Right.
83. Yeah, so they was the real ones back in the day. But they came
I remember.
to my defense.
Yeah.
And Looney was out there whooping them with the cane and don't
Well,
mess
you know,
with him.
for people who really don't understand, I did a video. I did a video where I stood at the burger stand on Western and 64th.
Right.
I did a video, and I wanted people to know that as I look across the street, them is the Brims. But where I'm standing, this is the 60s.
Right.
And then I turned around and I showed CW and Chris in that apartment building.
Yeah.
Those are they trays. So for people who don't understand how close we are, that Western is going to be that separation.
That's it.
What side of Western are you going to go on? And that's your affiliation.
A lot of them related. So
And most of them related. Because what happened, their mother buy a house over here, but their mama's sister bought a house 2 blocks that way, and then other mama's sister bought a house by the park. Like, so now y'all in 3 different neighborhoods, all within walking distance. You know,
that's why it's sad when I see people, you know, this violence going on. I'd be like, man, you might have shot your own cousin, man.
Yeah.
Do you understand what you're doing out here,
That's
bro?
just something that's just gonna have to be worked on
Yeah.
as a whole.
Because we got cousins over there on Madden. I
You
ain't gonna
gotta
say
start
what street, but
inside.
we got family
In
everywhere.
prison to work yourself out with.
Yeah, we got
You
family
know, 'cause
everywhere.
you got still people in the prison system that still hating on some stuff from 20 years ago.
Yeah, so you were talking about not forgotten.
Yeah,
Marcus.
Big M.
Big M.
That was the heavy blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank, too, was a heavy blow.
Yeah, all of them.
Frank
yeah,
was-
he's a heavy blow.
And then, of course, Mouse was your partner. That's a heavy blow.
Mouse that was a super heavy blow right there because Mouse used to just, take me places. He didn't even travel with no other youngster like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Chris, my homeboy Chris, he rest in peace. Shout out to Chris. Like I said, Daryl Knox, got Big O. Just a whole bunch of people.
Y'all remember Rabbit? Not Ricky Rabbit, not the homie on 6. Well, the other one, what was his real name? He was an Asian brother. He got into
talking
it.
about Clayton? That stayed on 69?
Yeah.
Yeah, 69th and Harvard. Yeah.
He was Asian, right?
Yeah, he was Asian.
And he was getting off.
Yeah, he was getting off.
He got hit.
Yeah, he got hit.
Went home.
Yeah.
And then the police rushed his house.
Yeah.
He popped up like this, though.
Yeah.
He don't know who's in his room, so he popped up.
Yeah, they gunned him
they
down.
gunned
And they gunned him down, yeah.
Another one that's
Got
not
Alvin,
forgotten. Somebody
Cross the
that I
Street.
forgot to say when I did the last episode of Not Forgotten. Gregory Branch, resting in peace.
That's right.
Not forgotten.
Yeah.
Gregory was kind of like a miniature Black Bobby.
Yeah. Yeah, he was.
He wasn't no joke.
Well, the whole neighborhood wasn't no joke.
No whole neighborhood.
No part in the North
Eddie
was a
Brown,
joke, period.
D.
Eddie
Brown,
Brown, my
not
best
forgotten.
friend, rest in peace, Eddie Brown. I love you, Eddie.
Marlo from
Looking down.
65th,
Marlo
not
Beasley.
forgotten.
Yep, not forgotten.
Beasley family,
We can just go on and on.
on and on.
Ani, Big Ani,
Yeah.
not forgotten, still around. What was it, Cheryl and David?
Midget, Bridget,
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Mildred.
Bridget Player.
Dirty Don,
Darlene
Bridget
and
and April
Katana and
Yeah.
them.
Dirty Don,
Bobby Ducross. These are older
Yeah.
guys, A lot of y'all, my older brother used to run with.
Man, let me tell y'all about Bridget Player, man. We used to walk to school together, right?
Right.
She would iron. She was for real. Could iron her pants to where they'll stand up in the corner.
I remember
She
that.
had the crease. She had the starch. And I asked her, man, was you up all night doing that? Because she had the creases. I mean, the real creases that
Cedric
last.
used to be in love with her.
yeah,
Yeah, remember Jesse
yeah.
on the corner?
Yeah,
65th.
Jesse.
These all people from 65th place.
Greg, she liked it, Greg, but I liked it her too.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
Greg
you sure
had
wanna
her.
give it up.
Okay.
But she used to come by the house and give me that little, just let your brother keep slipping. No. And I'll be in that door messing with her like, hey, Jesse.
So let me tell you who had some fine sisters. Well, he had 2 sisters. One of them was real fine, Tray Ball, off of 71st.
Yeah,
Off of 71st Street.
Him and his
Yeah.
brother, shout out to Trey Ball. What's happening
Yeah,
with
so he had
Shout
the
out.
one sister, Yvette, but he had the other sister, I think, was Niecy. So Yvette was cool. She was down. Gangster. I think she rest in peace. But he had that little light-skinned sister. I think her name was Niecy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She used
Yeah,
to go
Yolanda. Her mama had a little beauty salon right there on the corner behind where the AutoZone is, that little right behind there. There was a lot of little cuties in the neighborhood. But once I found out she was going with the big homie later on, I was like, no. I can't holler at you. You go with the big homie.
Big D.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm cool on
Crazy
that.
D.
Big D.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
my boy Diatri.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Big
used to
D
give me
was,
ride homes and stuff. Look out
Yeah,
for me.
he
Like,
was
come
real.
on, homie, I got you. You
Yeah.
know, we way off the 91 freeway.
I'm
I
pretty
got
sure
you.
he's gonna be.
he
blessed
caught
to
me
get
slipping
out
when
there.
I was a youngster back in the day, and he gave me that look. He was like, "What you doing out here, boy?" I was like, "I'm in the wrong lane." He said, "Go home."
Yeah.
So a lot of the fellas used to
Real
look out.
talk.
Hey, if you was in the wrong lane or doing something, go home, man.
Right.
You know, go home.
Used to hang
Go
out
where you
over there at
belong.
his house and shit.
I try to be the same.
appreciate
thing
him for
as
that.
Cheney, you know, his brother.
Yeah.
You know, cause man, having him in the pen with you, oh my God.
Who,
He
Wayne?
was, no, Cheney, his brother.
Oh, little
Big
Cheney?
Diatri.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't no joke.
Yeah, that was red, buddy.
You know what I
Lil
mean?
Cheney.
That was my
that
little
his
partner,
buddy.
though.
Yeah, that
So
was
so
his
tell
buddy.
me this: what year did all that turn from whatever it was, 65th place to 8 Trays?
I mean,
what year did it just become?
I'll say that's kind of like never have been a problem because of that one house right there with Conrad. You know, because their family could be, you know, you don't know, but you know, it's all respected.
So
you know.
look,
Kids
though, this
have
is-
choices.
this-
Everybody's got choices.
Well, they always been there.
So
Yeah,
this
they've
is
been
what
there
I'm thinking,
forever.
right? This is what I'm thinking. Just from my childhood, like I said, y'all say, okay, Chico is younger than y'all.
Chico
Well,
older than
he's
you.
got-
No.
he's older than him, but not older than me.
Right. Okay, so y'all born in what, 66?
Yeah.
I was born
I'm
in
61.
So I was born in 63. So Chico,
It's got to be close to passing.
yeah,
Maybe
more
a year
like 64,
over.
65,
Yeah.
right? But that's the first time I had heard A Tray was coming from him.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just my experience. So what I'm thinking is, was that a major part of that area becoming?
Well, when the war broke out with all that stuff going on, I had a conversation
Washington
with.
was really separated then.
Let me say what I gotta
All
say. When the war broke out, I was down on 65th in Halldale, and Chico and Opie was down there. They was like, "Yeah, this is A Tray Hood." I was like, "Man, A Tray down there." I'm standing in the middle of Halldale, I'm pointing. I said, "A Tray way down there.
Right.
This 65th." He said, "No, you don't understand. This A Tray." I was like, "All right, man, whatever." And then we went on. They went on down, straight
Straight
down
up Halldale.
Halldale, and I went on to my house. But now I understand what he was saying, because that perimeter had to be blocked off, because when the war broke out, I was at C-Dub in them house. I never forget the Laker championship. I was in the restroom, and I heard all these footsteps. And I got up and I looked out the side window, man. It was about 50 rolling 60s, man. Crips and, Crips and Let's. And I came out, I said, "Man, y'all know it's a whole bunch of people outside, like gangbangers." That's when the war broke out. It was more like they was walking to your neighborhood to
Right,
square up
yeah,
with you.
right.
It wasn't all this pop, pop, pop. It was more like, we coming to
Right.
do this. And I didn't
That's
understand.
because we was both taught by the same people.
Yeah.
Hey, say that.
You know what I'm saying?
Say that. I don't want to say no names, but
Yeah, but
but
we
yeah,
was all taught by the same people.
That big
Exactly.
family,
You know what I'm saying?
that big family was right here,
Yeah.
making sure everybody's tough right here,
Yeah.
but also over
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why when you go
Well,
to the
well,
pen, you either
well,
gonna claim neighborhood or gangster.
I was
One
watching.
of the two.
I was watching
Maybe
one
that's
of
why
Big,
I was never no problems on our street.
I was watching one of
You know
Big
what I mean?
Monster Cody's interviews, and he said we was like cactus. Catch this, that didn't need water. Nobody caught that, but he said it, and it was true.
Yeah.
He said we was like cactus that didn't need watering. So that means you had to be hardcore.
Right,
You had to be tough. Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no punk, no none of that. And one night I was walking home from Eddie Brown's house, and it was foggy. Thank you, Lord. It was Monster and Big Stag. And I walked up on them, and they had some big guns. And I said, "Hey." They said, "Hey, go home." I said, "Thank you, man.
Imagine Stag telling you to go home.
Go home."
You should have been telling him to go
No,
home.
they was on patrol.
But Stag had turned into something. He wasn't Daryl Layton no more.
No.
Right.
No.
When he became Stag, I saw him on Crenshaw in Manchester at the Shell station.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Homie, man, you should leave, man." He said, "Skipp, trust me, I'm all right.
And I knew he was loco when he was on the back of the RTD in the back, giving it up. I'm like, what you doing? He was giving it up on the bus. I said, that boy, he's dedicated to the cause. So,
Yes, indeed, man.
you know, shout out to all my homies that's, you know, still, you know, breathing around that area, not forgotten. They know what I stand for. You know, when I
Stagger
gave
Lee is definitely one.
yeah,
man.
when I gave the thing for Big M, you know, all the fellas came. Gave
Shout
me
out
the-
to Rock, man. Where Rock at?
Big
Florida?
Rock, talked to him not too long ago. They gave me the stamp of approval, man, because we all trying to, you know, we getting older, man. We all gotta, you know, love
When
each
I
other.
left '66, he was Ronald. I came back, he was Rock.
He was Rock.
Rock.
Big Rock.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah,
good
good people though.
basketball,
Everybody
man.
turned out to
I
be
tell you
all
that.
right.
He played some basketball.
Yeah, he
though.
could.
Rock
Yeah,
the
everybody
ball.
turned out to be decent,
It's
you
kind
know,
of deep, man. 'cause
individuals.
This is something that you do not want your grandchildren to go into a fourth generation with.
Right.
Yeah, James used
But
to
the key
live
to let them know is
next door.
gangbanging been
Mr.
over.
Pot. They used to live next door.
Right. James'
You know,
backyard. We
was
shout
the
out to
neighborhood
Big James if
basketball.
he's still
Yeah,
out there.
Big James to
He
you, man.
made a safe haven for all of us because we didn't have Harvard Park.
Yeah.
Right.
So James built a basketball court in the backyard. He would sell us Fritos, chips, and little things. And then we had the what was that? Not Child's Market, Kim's Market on the
Kim's
corner,
Market.
where we could run and get our snacks. But everybody learned how to play ball back there.
From
We
there,
stayed-
everybody was in that yard.
We
I'm
stayed
talking
in
about-
good shape. You
So
know?
Kim's Market was right there next to House Bakery.
No, it
What was that? What was
That's
next?
Charles
65th
Market.
place.
Charles
Okay,
Market.
Shout out to
So-
Charles Market,
What was next to House Bakery?
Schaefer's.
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 Okay.
Schaefer's.
Schaefer's.
Yeah, because I was doing the interview and I
Everybody
said the
go get
wrong
your
name.
little
I
suits.
forgot what I
Get your
called it,
little
but
clothes,
Suits
little
and
suits,
clothes and
school
stuff.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
My grandma
yeah.
used to take you up to Schaefer's.
You know.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Until we got old
Then
enough.
A and
so we
W
got
was
Taylor.
across the street.
Yeah, I remember
Gang
A&W.
banging.
I was actually in the car that night when Monster said it was a DA reject on 65th. I was the youngest one in the crowd in the back seat with my cousin. I should have been at home, but I was trying to be, you know, out there with the big guys, the big fellas. And that's the night Odie got shot. I was sitting in the back seat looking out the window. They working on their stereos and this and that. Now this is the real Bob Dillinger. I'm gonna tell you how he worked. Odie was standing on the corner, and the big homie, you know, was working on his car. And my cousin Joey was working on his. And I was just looking out the window, and I was looking at some headlights. They came all the way down from like towards Harvard Park. You know, because I was just a youngster, just alert, so I'm peeping. And the car kept pulling up to each stop sign. By the time it got to us on 65th, they stopped at the stop sign, and then 2 357s came out the window. And I said, gun! And I hit it. I hit the deck. Ba, 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 ba. They shooting, ba, 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 ba.
Yeah, 'cause I was already halfway to
We
the
laying down. They hit Odie while he was on the corner. He ran down towards Larry Calloway house. Before they stopped busing, Bob Dillinger, aka Black Bobby, Robert Moore, had already went through the house and got the Clint Eastwood 44. Before they could pull off, Bobby was coming out his back door, jumping in the middle of the street.
Oh.
Boom! He blowing. And I looked at him as a youngster. I'm looking at him like, are you serious? He was serious.
Right.
Because
Bob
they
kept
came at
two
us.
guns on him.
They came at us foul,
Right.
but they got dealt with because we all was standing in the street. The car was going slow, and it slumped up on the curb. I said, "That's a hit right there."
Yeah.
And then Odie came back limping. They told me, "Go home."
Yeah, Joy took on
took off.
to the hospital.
Yeah. So I don't want to.
Rest
I
in
don't want
peace,
people
Big
to
Odie.
think that the way he got down, he got down. That
Yeah,
was
he
straight
was
gangster, but
original.
I don't want to for people to think that I'm glorifying that.
No.
But just in that era, just in that time frame, as Monster Cody said, those are the things that was needed in order to survive.
Yeah.
I don't believe these are the times that we need to survive like that.
No.
Not anymore. But man, it's always good to hear that. That. Shit, man, we survived.
We
Just
survived.
think about this,
We
man. We
survived.
survived that.
Then
we
the
survived.
drugs hit the hood pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know, Freeway Rick, you was in
Yeah.
jail with him, wasn't you?
No, I know.
You know him. Yeah. So, you know, the drug houses was all around our houses. Oskill, resting in peace, Skipp. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
Skipp.
I used to sit there with Oskill, man, and he used to just count thousands. I'm like, man, for you to be a little guy, you got some money, boy. You got money. He stacked money. But, you know, unfortunate events happened to him, you know.
Rest in peace.
And that
Rest
took
in
a lot
peace.
of our, in my opinion, that took a lot of our community out.
Yeah.
So it took out mothers and fathers. It damn sure took out a lot of the children, the people that were our age, and it
We should have
really,
been able to sue the CIA, and they already admitted
yeah,
it. We should have been able to sue them.
Yeah, and I was telling my other brother, I said, they ought to have a thing for guys that come home from the pen. You know, they got postpartum depression too from the wars and
no
battles
question.
that they fought. You know, they should have something, you know, to give them some kind of
So there is no compensation for us, brother. Just know that, man.
Yeah.
We don't get any compensation. There won't
Yeah,
be
that's
any
true.
compensation. They're talking about reparations right now, but it's you know.
That'll never happen.
Well, I mean, it's on the Senate floor, and you got to convince people who don't believe. They like, you know, I know some white people that say, "Why should I pay for that?" You know, we were immigrants too. I'm Irish or I'm Italian and this and that. And man, you know, everybody
Yeah.
wants to compare their struggle.
Yeah,
so
pretty much.
one of the things that I learned about the Black Panther Party and about the civil rights back then, they would put their fist up and say Black Power.
right.
And some people were saying, man, we want to support you. We want to be down with you.
Right.
But it got to be inclusive. We got to be included too. So they stopped saying Black Power and they said power to the people. But what that meant is now we've lost our struggle because
Right.
we include other people
Right.
who don't want to say Black Power. So even when Black Lives Matter, whether you like them or don't like them, there have been people who join Black Lives Matter who not black.
Exactly.
And
Right.
what they say
Correct.
is we got to do this together because all lives matter.
Right.
And so now what happens is our story and our narrative keeps getting watered down because people are uncomfortable
Right.
with saying
Right.
black or
Right.
saying that black need this or black needs to be recognized. Other people, the Irish, Italian, Asians will say, well,
What
what
we can
about
only
us?
do it for ourselves is to bring it in. That's why I said we don't want to start our fourth generation because,
Right.
you know, we the dying third. So this fourth generation coming in, it's like automatically teaching your kids how to do passive income, what it means to survive right off the top. You know, that's the thing that they should be taught nowadays.
Right,
You know, is business.
right.
You know what I mean? Period.
And,
you know?
and what happens is, well, I'm just going to say for my generation, I'm sure y'all heard this too, is go to school, get a good education, get you a good job, and retire. But what happens when I do that is, just say I'm going to work for Ford Motor Credit, right? And I'm working for Ford Motor for 32 years.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, no matter which Ford dies, Henry, Harry, or whatever, I'm still not going to own that company.
Correct.
Right.
So I leave my nothing as a legacy while I'm helping Henry Ford leave his legacy to his children.
Right.
Y'all get that?
Got it.
Right.
So where's my dream?
Right.
So now let's just say, you know, we talked about Monster Cody.
Right.
He passed on.
Right.
He left a legacy for that area.
Yeah.
But we can't eat off of it.
Can't eat
Can't
off
eat
of
You know, there was no money.
Right.
It's only the stories like, yeah, I remember this, and we
Yeah.
went together here,
Right,
we,
right.
you know, whatever. But I don't want to be the one where people say, oh man, Skipp was cool,
Yeah.
but his kids broke. You know, his kids, I seen his kids in the county line, or I seen them doing.
Right.
How can we make it to where to be that Mr. Potts? Where I'm going to empower
Yeah.
the
Right.
youth in my community.
Right.
I'm going to empower.
Empower the
I'm going to show you
community.
how.
Right.
I'm going to be that example. So Mr. Potts is not a role model. He's a real model.
Yes, he is.
He's a
Yes,
real
he is.
model that we could
Yeah.
touch.
Big Sonny.
And I love hanging out with him, man.
Big
Every
Sonny,
chance I
rest
get,
in
I go
peace.
to
My father
Redondo
as well.
Beach.
Yeah,
hang
my
out.
father was like that too. He
Hired the
gave,
whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
father
good
had,
dude.
you know, a lamp framing business down on Pico and Normandy.
Uh-huh.
You know,
So that's what's so important, man. That's so important that we leave that financial legacy, not just the.
yeah, I
You
mean,
know.
Al Capone, all those big gangsters back in the day who was doing all the movies, everything, they giving, you know, royalties to their families.
Yeah, they getting something.
I even thought about a trademark T-shirt since Monster said we was like cactus that didn't need to be watered. Make some T-shirts with, you know, the MK logo, put a cactus on it, you know, and just shoot it out to his family. Somebody sponsor those T-shirts.
Yeah.
Do something to open, put a trademark on them. But they like, nah, you old thug killer.
Man.
Hey, come on, man.
All right, so look, so what you gonna lead the audience with, Pat? What you gonna tell the audience, man, that looking into the camera, I think that's your camera right there.
Yeah, well,
What you gonna tell the audience?
just want to say, I came down here to say not forgotten from elementary, junior high, high school, everybody that, had a hand in, pushing me forward through those neighborhoods and never let nothing happen to me. Shout out to all my homies. They know who they are, and it's all love with me, but I wasn't no buster, you know what I'm saying? I never was, the type to be weak or run off on you if you was in trouble or none of that. My mother raised us to be strong, just like everybody else's families on the block.
Yes,
And whoever I didn't get to mention, my apologies, but you are still not forgotten in my heart because I think about it all the time as a kid. I wish we still had the real estate, I wish we did because now we moved out and we can't even afford to move back.
Right.
So there's reasons why they did that,
Right.
because of the
Yeah, that
minerals.
was by design, man, and
By design.
Yes.
I
by
wish I
design.
would have learned that when I was younger.
We all.
Yes,
you know.
indeed.
Yes,
We
indeed.
came out to be all right though. We
Yes,
still didn't
indeed.
stop us. We still good people. We love people. We help people.
We still
you know.
here.
And, that's
still
pretty much
here.
what I got to say. Not forgotten all those names that was on the posters. One guy said that I was doing a corny thing. It's not corny. It's about loving and respecting people and not forgetting people because you going to have that day one day too.
Right.
Where you going to want to remember somebody.
Yeah.
So I said not forgotten for a reason.
Yes,
You're not
indeed.
forgotten.
Not forgotten. So if we're gonna do not forgotten, man, I gotta say, Sidewinder, man, Rayford, he had all of us at the park playing softball. He don't care where you come from, what color your rag was.
Big
He
Rayford.
said, Big Rayford was like, man, y'all come to the park, I got you. And I did not truly, I knew who he was, but I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, Rayford, cool, man. He got us at the park, man. Sidewinder, man, I appreciate you.
Yeah, big
And
side,
then
little side.
in his
Yeah.
death, I started realizing, and people was like, Skipp, just by you knowing him, being cool with him, being able to call him, that was big.
Shout out to Big Kufan, Big Fatty.
Yeah.
They doing good things.
Yeah.
Oh, Daddy
Frog,
Fatty, man.
Daddy Fatty, Big
Bro.
Frog.
Every
much love to you,
Frog,
'cause
man. Every
doing
time he
good
see
in
me,
the
man,
neighborhood. That's
he
my boy.
he get me in front of a whole bunch of people and he say, "Hey, Skipp, tell your mama I love her."
Man, he helped me pay my mama house, man.
Right, yeah.
He came to
Him-
Rialto and
him
helped me
and-
pay
him
my
and
mama
Marcus,
house.
him and
Much
Big
love
M.
for all.
Him and Big M.
And
are
Big M too, yep.
Them two
Them the
people
ones.
would work for free.
Man, what did I just tell you the other day?
They
I
would
said,
work
boy, I
free,
sure
man.
need Big
Fireball,
M,
Shady, all my boys, Big Ski Ken,
Yeah.
Two-Tone, all the real ones that still, working their jobs and taking care of their babies and their wives, It's
D
all
Mitchell,
love.
much love to D.
All our
Yeah,
real ones,
all
man.
our real ones,
Everybody's
yeah.
still alive.
Yeah, my
Goose,
shout
Mario.
outs
It's a
to
lot
my
of them
nigga
out there.
Ratone out
C-Dub,
there.
C-Dub.
Ratone. Yeah, that's
Ratone.
Greg boy, Ratone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Big, shit. You got it's a million people.
Yeah.
But,
So what you leave the people with, man? That's your camera right here, man. You look at the camera
Well,
and tell
leave
them
the people?
what you gonna
Well,
leave the people with. What you
I'm
gonna
gonna
tell
leave them
them?
with some peace, man. How we can do something with our grandchildren and make things, but get them ready for the fourth, generation. You know what I mean? That's really important to start preparing our kids, to learn something like that. Because by then, it already seemed like we are going into a third world country.
Right.
The way everything is happening right now. And that's very important to keep a watch on what this world is doing because it's fit to get rough. Even when they take away the paper money. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's about to get real rough on doing some other deals. You know what I mean? So the money
A
thing
lot
is
of
gonna
young
be
kids ain't listening to that
Yeah,
though.
but it's gonna be real
all
hard.
they worried about is what they doing.
all
and
I'm
what they
saying
want.
is just get ready. The world ain't changing. It's changed already.
Right.
You
World's
know?
not changing. It's changed.
It's changed already.
changed.
It's
Right.
already changed.
Big
Yeah,
difference.
So as us as people, we got to change with it.
Yes,
Right.
indeed. Appreciate
That's all you
that.
can do.
Pray for the youngsters that don't
Change
listen.
with it.
Just pray for them because they'll hear. One
What
day.
about you, Todd? What you lead the people with?
I just
man?
want to leave with, I give it up for the neighborhood. I thank everybody positive that was our neighborhood that looked out for us and did everything positive for us. And I just like to give it up for my kids out to Born Rich Records, Kid Gotti, my little one. Keep pushing hard because I want y'all to be positive in life and don't never have to go through the struggles which your dad had to go through. So I just want to say thank you, everybody in the neighborhood, and y'all know who y'all are. And Mr. Potts, thank you so much for uplifting our neighborhood and keeping the brothers with jobs. And when we didn't have nothing and we had nowhere to go, you still gave us a chance to make it. Thank you so much. And I just want to say to all my kids and my nephew out there, Bam, and all y'all, I love y'all, and just stay positive in the streets because the streets is hard. But we going to make it. We going to be all right. Much love.
Much love.
Yes, sir. Much love.
65th for life, man.
So I want to lead the people with this. What I heard Greg say. The third generation is over. The fourth generation, we got to make it right for them. I don't know if you're the fourth or the fifth, but this is what I'm talking about, a financial legacy right here.
Yes, sir.
I don't want to just leave him one pack of diapers and
That's
some
what I'm
milk.
talking about.
No, he has to have as much milk as he wants, as many diapers as he needs.
Right.
But so the legacy has to not just be, it has to be financial as well
Right.
as loving, caring, and all that.
Yeah.
So
Like
I don't
said.
want anybody else to give up your dreams because just like singing in the shower, people say, "Oh man, don't quit your day job." So I might not.
Mm-hmm.
I might quit daydreaming.
Exactly.
I heard that.
I ain't gonna quit my day job. I'm gonna quit my dreams.
Keep God first.
Yes,
Keep Him
indeed.
first. Pray over your
Number
children.
one.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
No doubt.
All right. Well, I think I got some theme music. See if I can get the theme music going. So,
Thank you,
I ain't
Brian.
gonna lie, it's like I'ma spit some real shit for y'all right now. It's like look, like when you grow up in the trenches, it's like society treats you different, man. Like look at you different. It's like man, you coming from where we from, man. We were on the come with you.
Look, they treat you different when you from the trenches. Bitch, I didn't grow up in no burb, I grew up in the village. Tryna get that shit up off the curb, I turned it to a menace. I wasn't hanging around with no girls, bitch, I was hitting fences. Childhood trauma, take it back to about the age of 9. Gunshots sounding like fireworks on 4th of July. I told my sisters and cousins that we gon' be alright as long as we stay solid, protect each other through eerie nights. Childhood trauma, my mama, she worked a 9 to 5. Still managed to come home and feed us when it was dinner time. Still managed to curve on the visas up in the winter time. So back to school, we was popping like the beginning times. I won't let this childhood trauma try to take me out. It made me who I am today, won't let it stress me out. But babe, I learned from my mistakes, I'ma go another route. Got some cake for a rainy day when it's another drop. Yeah, I grew up in the ghetto, I ain't ashamed of it. And I struggled on different levels, I got my pain from it. Niggas that die tryna live this life, tryna build a name from it. I hope I make it out alive, I ain't the same from it. I grew up in the ghetto, I ain't ashamed of it. And I struggled on different levels, I got my pain from it. Niggas that die tryna live this life, tryna build a name from it. I hope I make it out alive, I ain't the same from it. 100 rounds, 100 shots, aim it at your block. And twisties on your head to make it rock and do the bomber clock.